I just feel like all of that was just a bad combination of things that could have caused this to happen. But then I'm also starting to get a tiny bit of food noise back. And I'm also afraid because I'm not doing my weekly injections that I'm going to start to gain weight. I feel like my energy is back. Junior want to not be on my I can't really sleep, and did I miss ex-strippers. Hey y'all, hey, I'm back. Welcome to another vlog update. This one is going to be a follow-up from my previous update where I shared with y'all some very important, very serious information about how my GLP-1 journey was going, that I had some issues with swallowing and feeling like there was like something like a lump in my throat and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna give you an update here, but let's get into it. What's up, y'all? If you are new here, hey, my name is Keisha. I have been sharing my GLP-1 journey for the last 6 months, pretty much since April, and it is now the end of October, which is crazy. Actually, we're just past, I think, October 25th. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, 6 months just passed because I started my first injection on April 25th, which is so crazy. Like I said, if you're new here, welcome. Please go back and watch all my previous videos. I have a whole playlist that I will link down below, or it will be the next video that you'll see. Like the whole playlist will come after this, right? Whole playlist of my vlog updates from very start to before I even took my first injection until now at 6 months later, down pretty much almost 40 pounds, which is crazy, and almost at my goal weight. Okay. So thankful. And beyond all of this, I am just a girl. I'm a mom. I share my life on here with me and my kids, doing all kinds of fun things. I'm a content creator, so I share some behind the scenes of my content, videos and trips and different things like that. So all the things, that is what Keeping Up with Keisha is about. It's about keeping up with me and all the things. But for intensive purposes, I know I'm saying that wrong. For the sake of this video, I'm going to get into an update from a very serious vlog update that I did with y'all last week on me having something important to talk to you about making sure that you're not taking things when it comes to this GLP-1 journey in your own hands. So that video update was a huge reality check for me and obviously for many of you, because got tons of views, tons of love, tons of prayers from that video. And I appreciate you guys so much for all the love and prayers and support and concern. Number one, let me just start off with saying I feel tons better than I did when I recorded that video, because at the time I recorded that, which was just last week, I still was having like that kind of like lump feeling. And if you didn't see it, it was basically me giving you guys an update, because one thing that happened is that I took my GLP-1 journey into my own hands and decided that I was going to start taking my 5 milligrams of Zepbound every 2 weeks instead of the prescribed every week. That was just of my own doing. I'm not a doctor nor a physician, so I should not have been taking that into my own hands. And I know many of you guys said that you have been doing the same thing. So I hope that that was a good, reality check for many of you guys too. Okay. The second thing that I started doing was taking I guess pretty high dosage of a calcium supplement it was over the counter, but it was just something that I decided to start doing on my own because I was like, okay, I'm losing weight. I feel like I need to start getting more calcium because I'm not getting it through any other sources really, whatever, blah, blah. Lo and behold, after doing some research, when I started having this sensation of feeling like I was having a hard time swallowing, I looked up and saw that calcium, like calcium supplements and extra dosages of calcium, can have an adverse side effect with your GLP-1 injections. Who would have thunk? Okay, who would have thunk? But we're here today and we're feeling better. So on that update, I told you guys that I was going to go to urgent care because I had a telehealth appointment with my the provider of choice of mine is a company called Join Fridays. I've talked about them have had nothing but a great journey, and I'm so thankful. So you can schedule an appointment with a provider anytime you need it. Basically, that's one of the perks with this company, and they also provide me my prescription and all of the things. So scheduled an appointment last Monday because the feeling was going on for about 2 weeks, which is also interesting because that was about the same amount of time. I think I had been taking the calcium supplements for 3 weeks. And I told her all my symptoms, told her what was going on. Also told her that I had been being bad and made decisions in my own, doing with taking my injections every 2 weeks and all the things. So she said she wasn't too concerned because looking at my thyroid levels when I first started this journey, it was normal. Also, even though it was just through a screen, she said looking at my throat and all of that through virtually, she said it looked fine and she, wasn't too concerned, but she said, we don't want to play games with it. So still to be safe, she was like, see your primary care physician, which humbly I say as a 37-year-old woman that I do not have one right now, which is a little embarrassing, but it is what it is. I do see my OBGYN regularly, and that's pretty much it. So I do not have a primary care physician. I did move over the last, years, and then you have the pandemic and all the things, all the excuses that I could give, but it is what it is. So that is something that is definitely, it was on my list of like, okay, I need to stop playing games and get a primary care physician. But so she was like, if you don't have one, then just go to urgent care, just so the doctor can look in your throat, look down your throat, feel your throat and all the things, and just make sure that you're okay. Because with these injections, having any kind of concerns with your thyroid is something that you definitely do not want to play with. Okay. So I know a lot of you guys in the comments, thank you again for all the love, but I have had some of you guys say the same thing, that you have also experienced a sensation where you feel like you're having trouble swallowing or feeling like it's, like I won't say like a lump, but I guess lump for better, for the, whatever the word is I'm looking for when you're swallowing. And all I want to say is, we'll hope and pray that it's nothing, but just because that is something that you don't want to play with, please make sure that you go and see a doctor just to triple check to make sure that everything is okay. We're going to speak and say that it is, but you don't want to play around with it, and we want to make sure that everything is okay. So that is what I would encourage all of you guys to do. So I went to the urgent care. I didn't go immediately when I told you guys. I actually waited till later towards the end of the week just because my whole week was crazy. And by that point, when I went, it was Friday, I believe. And when I recorded this video and told you guys, that was Monday. So waited till the end of the week to go. And I had stopped kind of feeling like the lump feeling and like the trouble swallowing. But then it was like it turned into like a cough. So then I was like, okay, am I sick? Do I have strep throat? Like just trying to put all the puzzle pieces together. And like I said, it kind of started to turn into a cough, a little bit of postnasal drip too. Nothing crazy. Like I didn't have fever, chills, nothing else that was like made me feel like I was sick. But I was like, it was just weird and bizarre. So I went to the doctor, went to the urgent care, told them all of those things. And I'm going to just keep this part of it short, and then I'll give you guys more of a backstory on what else happened at the urgent care, which was good news or something good for me. So she saw the doctor. She felt my throat. They did a strep test. The strep test in the office, they are still running it and send it to the lab to do, I guess, like the full testing. And I should hear back if it is anything by like tomorrow or Tuesday. But they did the rapid strep test in the office, and it was negative. So I don't have strep throat. She looked in my throat. She didn't see anything where it was like tonsillitis or, anything that was like a blockage or anything weird. Didn't see anything like that. Felt my chest, all that kind of stuff. I don't have an upper respiratory infection. Like it was just really like nothing, which was, I guess, good and bad. Like sometimes you almost want it to be something so that you don't feel crazy. But it's the worst when you have symptoms or something's going on and then you finally go to a doctor or go to X, Y, and Z. Child, this could even be we talk about this in the office at work all the time. You have like issues with your computer and then you finally get someone from IT to come check it out and they just freaking turn it off, turn it back on or something like that. And they're like, oh, it's fixed. You're like, no, it was something wrong. Like, it was really something wrong with it. And I feel, you can even hear it in my voice as I'm talking, like that screechiness. Like, I almost felt like I'm losing my voice a little bit. Like, just so bizarre, but it was nothing according to her. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue right now. And let me actually make sure, because I do have my paperwork. She did say, she prescribed me something that she said, what is this called? It is called dexamethasone. I am terrible with the spelling and the names and all this kind of stuff, which I think she just said helps with any kind of like throat inflammation. So she said if I'm feeling it, no, she actually asked me if I wanted to take it there while I was in the office. And I was like, well, since I'm not really feeling it, she said it's something that you can take that's like a liquid form, like a drink. And she said they have it there and I could take it in the office. But I was like, I mean, since I'm not really feeling it as much now, I was like, is this something that I could be prescribed so that I can take it at home if I feel it again? So she said yes. So I have the prescription for that, which, yes, dexamethasone, or it says in parentheses, dexedrine or something like that, 2 milligrams of that. So the prescribed version is an oral tablet. So I do have a prescription for that if I need to go get that filled at my pharmacy if I do start to feel it again. And I will keep you guys updated and posted if I do and if I take this and how it, helps and all those kind of things. But I really do feel like, at least in my opinion, and I'm not a doctor, I feel like something weird may have like been happening with the calcium plus the GLP-1 and also the skipping of the weeks. Like, I just feel like all of that was just a bad combination of things that could have caused this to happen. I do believe, and I'm declare and speak healing over my body, that I'm healed and whole and that there's nothing else, that I need to be concerned about. But I just feel like that all of those things were just a combination that could have caused all of this. So that is the first part of what I wanted to tell you. And like I said, I had several of you guys leave me comments, but if you're new here and you're looking at this video, or even if you didn't comment and you have had those same kind of like sensations or feeling of being on the GLP-1 and feeling like you're swallowing, please go to a doctor, because it is recommended, or it is not recommended. It's a symptom, or it could be an adverse side effect that the GLP-1 could affect your thyroid levels. So that is something that you don't want to play with. Okay. So do y'all like my hair? It's growing on me. I'm like looking in the mirror that I have right here. I look completely different than I did in the last video. So I got my bundles back in and I added a little bit of color. And I'm kind of feeling it. At first I was like, I don't know if I like it. Like the color was kind of like giving like it was looking a little dry, but I put a little oil in it yesterday and curled it and did all the things. So I'm feeling cute today. It's Sunday night. This is not typically when I record, but I wanted to record so I can post this and have it up nice and early for y'all to get caught up, because I know I left y'all kind of on a cliffhanger. Okay. That's at the sidebar. That's neither here nor there. Maybe I'll start to do some hair content. Okay. No. So also while I was at the urgent care, I was talking to the nurse that signs you in. I forget what they're called, the registrar or something. I don't know. Child, my head be in 1,000 places. The person who checks you in and like takes all your vitals and all that kind of stuff. And I overheard her talking to the other person who was like back there, and she was like making phone calls to, I guess, patients who had just recently been at the urgent care, to give them like a follow-up phone call, and also to see if they were interested in setting up an appointment as a follow-up with a primary care physician, because I feel like a lot of people who come into the urgent care, which is a blessing like that these days, we do have urgent care so that we do have something where it's like you don't have to go to the hospital, but you also don't have to wait for a doctor's appointment per se, that you have this like kind of like middle office. And she was scheduling appointments to see if they wanted to set something up with their own PCP or to get a new PCP. So when I heard her doing that, and she was like kind of saying like a little frustrated, like, oh, I'm calling these people and you would have thought, I was calling them for something bad, like, blah, blah, blah. She was just like venting about it. And I was like, well, I need a PCP. So I was like, you can find one for me or sign me up. So it was just a blessing. So they helped me find one. And if in the last video, I told you guys that, being a woman of color, that is something that is very important to me. I've actually never had, I'm trying to think, not in the OBGYN, not in a doctor's. I think maybe one time in my life, and that was like very briefly, that I had a Black male doctor who was a primary care physician. I was only there at that office for maybe like a year. That was before I had Logan, so that was over 10 years ago. But other than that, eye doctor, like nobody, like I've never had a doctor that has been a person of color. So that was something that I just kind of threw out there that was very important to me, because she was looking for it. And I was like, can I just put in a request? I was like, can you see if there's someone who is a person of color? And if you didn't watch the last video, you don't really know fully why I'm saying it, but go back and watch it. So she did. So she found someone, the doctor, I'm not even going to say her name because I don't want to put it out there, but someone who is a town that's not too far from me. She said the person's name. They actually had a picture of the doctor up, I guess, in their system. You can search and it has a picture of the doctor as well as her name, information, blah, blah. So she set me up with an appointment for her, which is going to be towards the end of November. I think between their schedule and openings and my schedule, that was the earliest that we can get it. So that also just like was a huge sense of relief. And I was like, first of all, that's something that has been long overdue. Okay, don't be like me. Please make sure you find or get a primary care physician if you don't have one already. But that was just something that was like so needed. And I was like, maybe that's a blessing that has come from all of this, like me getting set up with a primary care physician, because I have definitely been in need of one. So I will keep you guys posted. I'm obviously going to get her updated and up to speed on all of the things going on with me, as well as the most recent things that's happened in the last week with my throat. Hopefully she can help to monitor it to see what's going on. And, if it becomes a thing again, I'll have someone who's right there that has already been along on the journey, and we can just take whatever necessary steps to go forward with looking at what it is. So that was a huge blessing in this, and I will keep you posted with that. But I think, even though it seems so far, like a month from now, pretty much the end of November is when the appointment is, I'm like, do I wait until then to go back to taking my injections? Because I really would like to lose. I haven't been on the scale. No, I did get on the scale, I think, last week, and I was still the same weight. I was 193, which is almost 40 pounds. That's like 37-ish pounds for me. So originally my goal was to hit 190, and I was like, I'll hit 190 and see where I am. But now, just based on the weight that I'm almost at, how my clothes are fitting and all the things, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll go to 185. Maybe we'll go to 185 and then reassess. So I still have about, 8 pounds to get to that goal. And I'm just like, I want to get there. And I'm also afraid, because I'm not doing my weekly injections, that I'm going to start to gain weight. I'm nervous about that, but I want to be very wise and smart and kind of like let my body do its thing before I start back up again, because of what I was feeling with the throat issues and stuff. So I don't know. I'm like, do I wait for that visit, which is at the end of the month, or do I kind of just have another telehealth appointment and start back up? So far, tomorrow would be, I believe, 3 weeks that it's been since I had my last injection. And I feel good. This isn't an update now. Maybe I'll put a timestamp here for where this is. So now an update on where I am with not taking my injections regularly. So now I'm about 3 weeks out from my last injection. The one thing that I can say, y'all, that I feel really, really good is I feel like my energy is back. I know we all complain so much about being on these injections, and the number one side effect, or one of the first side effects that you notice, whether you just started or you've been on it for months, is how tired it makes you. That is something that I was not prepared for when I first started this journey. I feel like you always hear, nausea, not able to eat a lot, blah, blah, like all of those things. But child, the way that you just feel so fatigued on this is crazy. So the last, I would say maybe like 4 or 5 days, like I said, now tomorrow will be officially 3 weeks since my last injection. I feel like good. Like I don't feel as fatigued as I did. And it's so crazy. So I'm like, that alone, I'm just like, I don't know, I'm kind of loving it. But then I'm also starting to get a tiny bit of food noise back. And this morning it was 11 o'clock. Like, I was ripping and running this morning trying to get me and the kids out for church. I typically don't eat breakfast when I'm home, especially because and I'm really not that hungry. Even before this journey, I'm not really a big breakfast person first thing in the morning. Like, I really just kind of wait until my body starts to feel hungry. So it was about 11 o'clock and I was like, yo, I'm starving. I was like, I am starving. And we were about to run out the door and I was in between. Do I stop somewhere? But then we were already late. So I just had to hurry up and grab I warmed up 2 Eggo waffles. That was like the only thing we had just to hold me over. But I was like, yo, that feeling of like starving had not been there in a while. And I have been hungry and had hunger, sensations and all that kind of stuff during this journey. But like I said, I felt like I was starving. I was like, I have to eat something. So other than that, I've had like little food noise here and there, but it hasn't been bad. I haven't wanted to go over the edge and just go from 0 to 60 eating like crazy again. But I know that as the injection, hormones and medicine, all that kind of stuff, as it wears off, that those hunger sensation and hunger cues and all that kind of stuff is probably going to start to come back more. So I'm like, this is a good time for me to really get on my game with like meal prepping and having healthier options in the house, like, having more fruits and veggies and all the things, just so I can really start to make it a full lifestyle change. But again, I really would like to lose at least another 8 pounds to get to my true goal, which now is 185 for sure, and reassess from there. I will say when I do, because I do plan on starting back up again, unless there's anything that tells me not to. But when I do start back up, I don't see myself going back to 5 unless I really, really, really need to. I feel like I would just stick it out on 2.5 until whatever, until whenever. I didn't really have a game plan going into this GLP-1 journey as far as like when I wanted to stop, how long I was going to be on it. I think it's one of those things where some people are just like, I'm going to be taking this forever. And other people are like, hey, I'll hit my goal and then I'll stop, or I'll go on a maintenance dose. Or some people are just like, I'll stop completely. And I know that I have this here as an option. Like, I do know one person who did stop. They hit their goal weight, stopped. And then maybe it was like 6 months to a year later when they started to notice themselves gaining weight again, that they hopped back on it. So it is a good thing that we do have this as an option, because this was obviously not a thing years ago. So I'm kind of just trying to play it by ear with that. And I want to see how I feel maybe over the next week or two. Maybe I'll give it like 2 weeks to completely be off like I am now and just see how I feel. And then if I need to start back up, it will obviously be on 2.5. So I do have, I think, 2 pens in the fridge right now of 5 milligrams of Zepbound. But obviously now I've learned my lesson that I would never start back up on that I would have to start back up on 2.5 and then roll out from there. So that is my goal right now, and I will keep you guys updated along the journey, as well as with some other things that I'm going to be like doing and implementing in my diet regimen. I hope you guys, if you didn't see the last vlog update that I did, it was a weekly vlog, and I did a lot of talking and cooking and all that kind of stuff with you guys. So let me know if you like that. I updated y'all on like the protein shake and how I did not like it. I cooked one of my favorite recipes with you guys, which was like a flatbread with chicken and all the things. So hopefully you like that. I'll try to incorporate more of that when I do my weekly vlogs, just to keep you guys updated, because I get asked all the time, like, what do you eat? What kind of things you cook and blah, blah, to lose the, almost 40 pounds on this journey. So I do want to keep that up for you guys. And that is pretty much it. If you guys have questions, you already know, drop them in the comments. Not just questions for me, but obviously for our whole tribe. And I will get back to you either through the question box, or I'll get back to you in my next video update. But I had to update you guys on what was going on because of all the views, the comments, the love, the prayers. And I'm so appreciative of you guys and just this whole riding out with me with this whole journey. The journey's not over yet. It's just now taking a little bit of a detour. And if you guys have been down this road before where you have stopped or had to take a pause for whatever reason, let me know how it went for you. Did you gain weight did you gain weight at all? Did you gain more weight than you anticipated? Or did you have to start back up sooner than you wanted? Like, all the things is definitely now taking this detour is opening my eyes to like a whole another side of this. And hopefully me sharing this can help to enlighten you on, just my journey. So that is it. And that's all. As I always say, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video because it helps to kick it out to all of the beautiful, amazing people out there in the algorithms and bring them over to the keeping up world. And make sure you like and subscribe and definitely hit that notification bell. I'm doing pretty good, y'all, on a schedule with every Monday and Friday with a video, whether it be an update like this or a vlog, or maybe my next one will be how I moved in with my baby father. That's neither here nor there. That's going to be a whole nother sit down, child. But yeah, so that is it. And I thank you and love you guys so much. Enjoy the rest of whenever you're watching this. Peace out. Peace out.